Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. When I left you on Friday, I suggested that since your life is determined by your assumptions, you are forced to recognize the fact that you are either a slave to your assumptions or your master. That comes from Neville Goddard. To attain mastery, you must attain deliberate, conscious control of your imagination. And Neville Goddard, in The Power of Awareness, says the drama of life is a psychological one in which all the conditions, circumstances, and events of your life are brought to pass by your assumptions. Now, that means learning to take responsibility that what's happening to you is based on how you've been thinking and feeling and acting, and realizing that if there's something in your life you don't want, you don't like, you want to get rid of, it's your responsibility to let that go, to not blame, to not be a victim, to not point to what's wrong, but to decide, that's it, I'm done. I want something else instead. And then allowing yourself to figure out what it is that you want, to dream about it, to think about it, to practice, to rehearse what it's going to be like to be that, and to start to allow your body to let go of the old, to let go of the drama, to release what no longer serves you, and to start to allow yourself to relax, to not be on autopilot and just settling for what's happening, but also not to focus your attention on what's going wrong. Let's take a deep breath in and settle down that wild stallion of a body. It's Monday morning and you might be thinking, I don't have time to relax. I got to go hard. It's Monday. Well, how do you want today to go? You can set an intention that it will be flowing, calm, and you know when you're relaxed, things become easier. You're not giving up. You're allowing things to be easy. You're allowing things to flow. You're allowing what you want to come into your experience. And you know what you want. What if today was the day that what you wanted landed in your inbox, your bank account, your home, that you actually realized this is real. The money I was hoping and wishing for is available to me. I didn't have to worry or fight or look at the lack. It just is. It's here now. The bills are paid. Everything is flowing. And I get to enjoy my life. If it's love and respect that you want, you must first feel that. What would it be like? You must allow yourself to get into that state of being, placing your attention on what it's like to be what you want to be. Happy, joyful, respected, calm. These are all states of being. You can't be in the state of being happy if you're focused on everything that's creating misery in your life. You can't feel what it's like to be abundantly blessed and know that money is pouring in and that you've always been taken care of. Everything you've needed has always come at the right time. You can't be focused on what's missing, what's going wrong, what I have to do. You can't be in the state of being stressed and allow things to flow easily. When you're in a calm state of being, life unfolds the way it's meant to unfold, without worry, without doubt, without anxiety. Getting into the feeling of ease. What's it like to feel well-being? Well-being simply is. That's your normal, natural state. Let's take a deep breath in and allow well-being to flood over you. What would it be like to be happy, to be healthy, to know that everything happens at the right time, and just let it be. In Neville Goddard's next chapter on attention, the first quote is from James 1:8. He says, "A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways." If you want peace, joy, happiness, understanding, love, respect, calm, focus your attention in that direction. Focus your feeling on what that would feel like. Attention is forceful in proportion to the narrowness of its focus. That is, when it is obsessed with a single idea or sensation, it is steadied and powerfully focused only by such an adjustment of the mind as permits you to see one thing only. For you steady the attention and increase its power by confining it. By focusing your attention on that one thing that means so much to you. What is your deepest desire? Imagine that it's already yours. How would you be feeling to be in that state of already being there, already having it, already being in that state? The magic happens when you align your mind, your body, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions. Decide what it is that you want to focus on, that you want to bring into reality. How does it look? How does it feel? The desire which realizes itself is always a desire upon which attention is exclusively concentrated, for an idea is endowed with power only in proportion to the degree of attention fixed on it. It's important that you realize that. You might have thought, I'm going to spend 5 minutes thinking about what I want, and then just go back to acting the way I've always acted and being forceful and doing what has to be done. When you come from a place of already knowing that your desire is yours, you can relax that it's coming. It's meant for you. It might not be your experience today. You just have the faith and the knowledge that when you're in alignment, when all the pieces of the puzzle are ready, including you, it will just naturally unfold. If you're going on a vacation in July, you don't pack today on March 9th. You just know that life will ebb and flow, and then when it's time, you pack your bag and you go on your vacation. You don't stress today about if you have enough clothes, if the suitcase fits, if everything is happening. Everything will happen when it happens. You must be a cooperative component and not worry about if and how and when it's going to happen. You set the destination, you set the goal, you believe that it's yours, and then you just get on with whatever work you need to do. Not forcing, but seeming miracles happen when you align. Decide what you want and focus your mind until it becomes your habit pattern, your beliefs. And then you will experience it in reality. Rather than overthinking the worst and having a plan B, shift your mindset that what if you could overthink the best? I'm growing, I'm grateful, I'm thriving. Everything is coming at the right place, at the right time. Neville Goddard says, concentrated observation is the attentive attitude directed towards some specific end. Thinking from the end, it's already here, it's already done. What does it feel like? Who are you now that your goal has been accomplished? The attentive attitude involves selection, for when you pay attention, it signifies that you have decided to focus your attention on one object or state rather than another. You can only go in one direction at a time. Where are you focusing your attention? Neville Goddard says, therefore, when you know what you want, you must deliberately focus your attention on the feeling of your wish fulfilled until that feeling fills the mind and crowds all other ideas out of consciousness. The power of attention is the measure of your inner force. Concentrated observation of one thing shuts out other things and causes those other things to disappear. You don't have to worry about what's not here or worry about the current items, things, conditions that you don't want, or the past that's already passed. When you concentrate on what you do want, what doesn't match disappears. The great secret of success is to focus the attention on the feeling of the wish fulfilled without permitting any distraction. All progress depends upon an increase of attention. The ideas which impel you to action are those which dominate the consciousness, those which possess the attention. This one thing I do, forgetting those things that are behind, I press toward the mark. This means you. This one thing you can do, forgetting those things that are behind, you can press toward the mark of filling your mind with the feeling of the wish fulfilled. To the unenlightened person, this will seem to be all fantasy. Yet, all progress comes from those who do not take the accepted view, nor accept the world as it is. As was stated heretofore, if you can imagine what you please, and if the forms of your thought are as vivid as the forms of nature, you are, by virtue of the power of your imagination, master of your fate. Your imagination is you yourself, and the world as your imagination sees it is the real world. When you set out to master the movements of attention, which must be done if you would successfully alter the course of observed events, it is then you realize how little control you exercise over your imagination and how much it is dominated by sensory impressions and by a drifting on the tides of idle moods. To aid in mastering the control of your attention, practice this exercise. Night after night, just before you drift off to sleep, strive to hold your attention on the activities of the day in reverse order. Focus your attention on the last thing you did, that is, getting into bed, and then move it backward in time over the events until you reach the first event of the day, getting out of bed. Neville Goddard says this is no easy exercise, but just as specific exercises greatly help in developing specific muscles, this exercise will greatly help in developing the muscle of your attention. Your attention must be developed, controlled, and concentrated in order to change your concept of yourself successfully and thereby change your future. Imagination is able to do anything, but only according to the internal direction of your attention. If you persist night after night, sooner or later you will awaken in yourself a center of power and become conscious of your greater self, the real you. Attention is developed by repeated exercise or habit. Through habit, an action becomes easier, and so in course of time gives rise to a facility or faculty which can then be put to higher use. When you attain control of the internal direction of your attention, you will no longer stand in shallow water, but will launch out into the deep of life. You will walk in the assumption of the wish fulfilled as on a foundation more solid even than earth. Where do you direct your attention? Will you try this exercise? Write down, what is your destination? What is your deep desire? What do you want more than anything else? It doesn't matter how big it is. If you deeply desire it and have no idea how it could possibly happen, that's the best way to start. Something that you want, and it's so big, so beautiful, you might think it is simply ridiculous. It's a fantasy. It's a big, beautiful, audacious idea that you want. It doesn't matter why you want it. Wanting it is because you believe you'll feel better. You'll finally feel that you're good enough, you're wealthy enough, you're healthy, happy, knowing that that will make you feel better. You'll be content, you'll be satisfied, you'll be happy. What does that look like? You're free of doubt. You just know it's yours. Maybe you can't say that yet. Maybe you're afraid. It's so big it seems like it's not meant for you. But if you have that picture, that idea, that desire, that is the universe showing you what is meant for you. You are God's highest form of creation. Infinite intelligence is flowing to and through you. That picture that you have is meant for you. It's the coming attractions of your life. It might be scary because you have no idea how it could happen, and you don't have to worry about that. You just have to practice, exercise your attention, your intention, exercise your focus, develop your will. Write down what it is that you desire. Write it as if it's already done. It's here now. Give thanks for it already being, because if you have it in your imagination and you plant that desire in your heart and you get into the state of being what it would be like, how does it feel? You're grateful, you're happy. You can relax knowing that it's yours. You don't have to worry about it. There will be things that you have to do. There will be work. There will be challenges. How badly do you want it? That idea, that wish, that deep desire, it's on its way to you. Write it down as if you just experienced it. I am so happy. I can't believe this is mine. I'm so grateful. If your desire is big and beautiful and just what you always wanted, how would you feel knowing that it's yours, feeling that it's here now? You might feel so excited. You might feel overwhelmed with joy. You might feel that you need to cry because it's so beautiful. And you did it. It's yours. It's meant for you. You want to be an active participant in this. You might do what Neville Goddard did and say, write down how your day went, not write it down, but before you drift off to sleep, think about your day in reverse. What did you do today that took you one step closer to your goal? You practiced being in that state of being. You can actually reverse engineer your day and remind yourself how healthy, how happy, how wonderful life is. You allowed the day to flow. You did things that your past self would have been too afraid to do. For now, I just want you to feel how wonderful, how healthy, how happy, how wealthy, how abundantly blessed you are. Really feel it. Ask your higher self, ask God, ask your guardian angel, ask universal intelligence, what can I do today to make that my reality? Whatever ideas flow to you, write them down, and as soon as possible, do that. Take action, because your thinking, your feeling, and your acting is causing the results in your life. What results do you want? What outcome will make you that happy, healthy, vibrantly alive person? That's your natural state of being. Allow that into your life. Create a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. Place your attention on your goal already done. And I'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 7. Thank you.